today we're looking to discuss security, which, as we know, is the key driver that brings most individuals into residential communities. It actually, I believe, enables the lifestyle that is often promoted within communities. The security environment promotes and enables that lifestyle. So I'm this morning with Ranesh Ranjith, who is the Sales and Marketing Director of Thorburn Security, who are a group within the Tsebo brand. Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us.
Louise, thank you very much. From our Tsebo Solutions offering perspective, we have been established over 27 countries, have experienced over 49 years in terms of a few key areas of focus, which is facilities management, cleaning, hygiene, catering, remote service, and certainly procurement. A few sectors that we have established ourselves very well is the oil and gas, mining and resources. For an example, Thorburn runs approximately 19 mines across South Africa. From a protection point of view and obviously a service point of view. Corporate and financial services, we have the likes of Nedbank and a few other major banks that we service. Manufacturing and healthcare, Chief Albert Luthuli Hospital, to name one or two. From a manufacturing point of view, we service Toyota, we service DEFI, we service Mercedes-Benz. So we're quite excited in terms of those sectors that we manage as blue chip companies. Education, we've got companies such as Advotech that we support. And with regards to our leisure and hospitality and our retail, sorry about that. Here goes my dogs. But from a retail and a wholesale point of view, we run about 7,500 sites. We have just over 30,000 employees. And where Thorburn fits in, Louise, is Thorburn underpins the protection division for Tsebo. So it's Tsebo Catering, Tsebo Cleaning, Tsebo Facilities Management, and then Tsebo Protection, which we know from our brand identity and what we refer to in a marketplace is referred to as Thorburn Security Solutions. So that's where we fit into the group offering, and we leverage a lot, especially with our customers from a pricing point of view, from a service point of view, with regards to how we service and we interact with our customers. And our offering is very unique in terms of cost management, product development, understanding the key components of our customers' needs within their segment and their market, and how we can sort of improve the environment in providing a better product, especially during this environment, a cost-effective product.
Absolutely. And have we
found those are the key components from a Tsebo aspect?
Absolutely. And has this concept of an integrated service offering that will look at long-term savings for residential communities, is the idea for that developer maybe to start the relationship off as they go into production, and then for those savings to roll into the HOA and the sectional title development so that they can see the value from a long-term perspective? Is that sort of where you see the business positioning itself?
Absolutely. I think from economies of scale with regards to what the consumer requires, whether it is a developer or the end user as a resident within an estate, you want a solution that provides you with peace of mind. It gives you the right product at the right price. And therefore, from a Tsebo Group point of view, having economies of scale and offering facilities, offering you a bouquet of protection solutions, accompanied by where certain estates, and we're seeing certain estates move into a whole ecosystem going forward. providing you with ease of living, but quality of living and quality of lifestyle. And therefore, that is so important for the developers and for homeowners association to take a step back to say, what else can we actually provide our customers? What else can we provide our residents? And how can we actually establish this? And therefore, from a solutions group perspective, as Tsebo, we believe very strongly in our product offering that it will enable developers and homeowners association to have what they actually need in terms of a long, sustainable relationship, and also meeting the demands of a pricing aspect and the market-related changes that we all experience, i.e. COVID-19.
I've definitely noticed over the last few months that as a business from a Tsebo, from a Thorburn side, there's been a lot of emphasis put on technology. So, we know that there's new technologies, and almost the security industry are sort of early adopters of technology when it's come to artificial intelligence systems and those types of systems actually that are being used. Do you envision a future of community living, or even from a commercial retail perspective, of there being a no longer a staffed solution to guarding, but rather that guarding all becomes it's all about technology, and those staff members are then upskilled to work more effectively in control rooms and working more effectively with the data that is being collected through the AI technologies? Where do you see the security industry going from a Thorburn perspective over the next couple of years?
Has Thorburn done a few research in terms of how we position the business going forward, taking labor into consideration, the cost of labor, the cost to deliver the service to the client, and what is the appropriate service that we can actually offer them. So most certainly, Louise, if we have a look at where technology has taken us, we have adopted a solution already called Guard to Tech. And what Guard Tech solution does is it enables the customer to have the same value offering at a reduced cost, and we deal with the exceptions. So when you deal with the exceptions, you're dealing with an output-based aspect in terms of monitoring and effective driving any risks in any estates or any businesses. So Guard to Tech solution is a solution of the future. When I say solution of the future, it's actually current. We've rolled out Guard Tech to the likes of DEFI in South Africa. And what it does, it's remote management of an entire facility in a virtual dedicated control room, but it has an interconnectivity with ground staff. So it's twofold in terms of dealing with the exceptions, whilst we enable our officers in the ground to effect what they need to do on a day-to-day basis. The advantage of that is as you mentioned, Louise, is the intelligence gathering that we pick up, a point of access control, point of temperature screening now, off-site monitoring, which we refer to as exceptional monitoring, and dealing with those exceptions, mitigating those risks, and it gives us more output-based aspect where you can then sit with the client and draft KPIs in terms of how do we reduce your shrinkage, how do we reduce your loss, what are your experiences, where are your hotspot areas. And AI has allowed, especially the security industry, if it's utilized appropriately in terms of working with on-the-ground management with remote management.
And is that would you say that is the key component, to have a mix of on-the-ground and remote management?
You need to have that, Louise, you need to have that personal interaction, especially when you're dealing with customers and you're dealing with visitors and contract management. So you need to still have, I would say, between a 60 and a 40% split between a hybrid solution, and it's tailored for a specific client, depending on the environment, their facilities, their needs. But most certainly, the hybrid solution is working. We have adopted it in quite a few customers' requirements already. One from a cost-saving aspect, and then two from a value offering aspect as well. We've seen what COVID-19 has done to our economy, what it has done to the job losses and the increases of job losses in South Africa. And what we want to do is offer a value that will be able to save companies money over a long period of time, but a sustainable solution where we will look at a remote monitoring support integrated with guarding requirements on the ground.
And have you found that your estates that you're working with, I know that you have a number of very large communities, have you found that their security needs have changed over this COVID period?
Yes, it has, especially if you look at the way you enter your facility. The first access control management, the reduction of using requirements. That's one aspect. The second aspect is the introduction of facial recognition, the introduction of hand wave technologies, the aggressive adoption of license plate recognition linked to certain requirements of that specific customer to either open up a boom or a gate or even a door. So yeah, it's moving into that era where you want to have less interaction and you want to have a seamless process of entering a facility.
Absolutely. Thank you.
The other aspect, sorry to add, is our officers are playing more of a health and safety role in this environment. So taking into consideration the customers' heightened understanding of COVID-19 has now placed additional KPIs for our officers on the ground to ensure that we help support screening, we help support safety, we help support the awareness, and we help support hygiene control.
And just regarding that, I've seen a few, notes in the media, and I know we ourselves have noted that it's almost like your security office becoming a healthcare worker, which is a bit concerning. But are you doing basic training, or is there a drive to, having a screening facility is fantastic, but to screen a client, you need a fair environment to get an accurate reading. And I can imagine now, whilst everything is very, very in the media and everyone is very, very concerned, in 6 months' time or in 8 months' time, do you feel that do you not feel that your security staff will then start dealing with a bit of backlash from the community as they don't want to be screened, or they're irritated that the entrance is taking too long, or what happens with people, these things which they accept in the beginning become sort of annoyances to them after a while. Are you doing special training with your staff at the moment?
We have embarked on special training, Louise, and very important from our retention strategy and the way we communicate with our customers. I think your question is twofold. The one is, how do we identify our clients' expectations? So from a retention strategy, we have closely monitored what our customers' requirements are, and we have adopted accordingly to their requirements. And if there's been any sort of processes that have hindered quick and easy access, I think a lot of people have understood the circumstances that we're actually living in, and people have actually adopted. I find people patient and people willing to take 2 or 3 minutes longer to enter a facility or residential estate, because it's their life at risk, and it's the life of everyone that needs to be placed at priority. So our guards are soft skill trained in terms of utilizing any technologies that we will roll out, and that's incorporated in terms of the way we interact with our customers and the way we upskill them in rolling out any new solutions that our customers might require. So we've started rolling out the facial recognition and thermal screening technology within estates, and the process that we followed there, Louise, is actually twofold. One is to screen especially the visitor entrance and the contract manager entrance, because the risk is high in terms of that aspect, especially for estates. So a process that enables our security officers to have on-site screening technology from thermal detection cameras or handheld thermal cameras, which has a virtual setting within the residential estates. We have then taken it one step further, where we can actually do remote screening and dedicated console from our National Control Command Center. So what that looks has, when you look at multiple people that's coming through simultaneously, you'll then have to take a step back in ensuring that you've got quick access, you're screening people quickly, effectively, with all the processes in place in terms of detection, identification, mitigation, and isolation. So certain residential estates have created isolation rooms or isolation booths in terms of an heightened temperature. So we're looking for heightened temperature, and heightened temperature, anything above your normal body temperature will be above 37.5 to 38.1 degrees. We will then quarantine that person and escalate that matter for the senior site manager to actually take care of that situation, whilst we're allowing continuous flow of traffic, either by vehicle or by foot, especially domestic traffic that enters in, and all other service providers that need to ensure they continue with their daily routine and service their customers as well.
Because that can be quite a problem at the gate, is that people normally wait a little bit to get through the security aspects of accessing a property, accessing an estate. Now you need to obviously manage the health risks that go with it as well. It's a very challenging thing. And from Thorburn's side, your security personnel, what has your approach been to ensuring their safety and their good health?
We have been quite fortunate, Thorburn, reporting into the group division called Tsebo, and Tsebo's portfolio includes cleaning, hygiene, and facilities management that allowed our division to ensure that we approach the safety of our staff and personnel as the first and foremost, providing them with all the PPE requirements, and also the basic understanding of how to take care of yourself during this crisis. So a lot of toolbox talks, a lot of rollouts, and most importantly, we focused a lot in terms of education and information to our security officers during this time. And we're quite excited to report that during this time we had a 99.97% succession in terms of posting. From a Thorburn Security Solutions perspective, the company predominantly has been positioned as a guarding consortium. And within the estate living environment, has got the experience in terms of the initial niche market in the Western Cape, and subsequent to that, the likes of Valdevi, the Zalza Estate, Nature's Rest, has developed that portfolio into an entire integrated solutions. So the verticals are within the guarding sector and the protection solution. But what we've done during our learnings and developments of post-COVID-19 is to establish the way we can sort of create a safe environment for our consumers and for their, especially when you look at people that enters any buildings, facilities, or communities, is to be very cognizant of the coronavirus impact that has been created within the society, and people that have actually succumbed to it has created this the sense of safety, security, peace of mind, but more dedicated to now health and safety. And one of the products we featured during our COVID-19 experience is a lot of thermal integrated technologies that we've introduced within Thorburn, from sanitization tunnels with fever detection screening. We've launched thermal infographic screening, especially to give our customers peace of mind when anyone enters their facilities or estates for that matter. And it's about creating an early warning detection. And also we understand this pandemic in terms of the way it spreads. It's one of those silent enemies that's living within our society. And it's the notion of fear, but it's also the preparation of it. And the preparation is quite critical. And what Thorburn Security Solutions has done is we have partnered with the likes of Hikvision, for an example, and we've designed fully integrated solutions that talks back into our control center. So remotely from our control center, we can monitor and view temperatures. And we're looking at companies such as Anglo American, Kolomali Mine. We've just signed a contract with Letsing Mine in Lesotho. If we look at the corporates, we've rolled out projects in the likes of DeFi, Toyota, and a couple of big blue chip companies in terms of creating a protected screening, mitigation, and isolation process. So from a technological aspect, you'll be able to detect, but the aspect from there is, what do you do with the information? How do you manage the information? How do you manage people? And how do you manage the mitigation process? So we've worked and we've consulted with various of our customers in terms of creating a solution based on the environment, based on their needs, based on the expectations. And the critical common thread is, how do we mitigate the risk of the spread of this virus, and how do we adapt in terms of what our customers' expectations is. So we've been positioned fairly well in the last 2 or 3 months. We've adapted from a technological aspect. We've adapted in terms of the way our customers want us to ensure that we protect the well-being of themselves, their facilities, and also their customers, and give them peace of mind ultimately.
So how would that screening look from a residential communities perspective? Is it something that sits at that, does the process sit at the security control room? So as you enter the estate, are you screened at that point? And would this just be for sort of service providers and the staff working on the community, not for the homeowners and residents? How do you envisage the system working for residential communities?
So for residential community, we've launched at Atlantic Beach, we've launched facial recognition cameras at the visitor's entrance, which does not allow you to touch the keypads and any devices that might allow any transmission of the virus. So hence why we have created an opportunity. Most certainly, we believe that the future has changed and the future is now. And Thorburn Security Solutions has adapted its processes in terms of the way we integrate lifestyles with solutions. And we certainly have the skills, the capabilities, the resources in terms of rolling out these technologies in estates. And we look forward in assisting anyone's requirements in terms of the solutions that we can offer.
Thank you very much. And thank you so much for joining us today. And we hope that everybody has a good day further. Thank you.